basically, on this Wednesday, October 5th at 1:45 p.m. Central Standard Time in Denton, Texas, I'm looking at iFunny. This is going to repost this. This is Damascus was a bad man at the vet and was very bitey, so he got put in the lizard straitjacket for his X-rays. And this is follow the bluebell. It says imprisoned for his crimes. Well, that's what I'm saying. What you had to understand is that these lizards, these reptilians, and like I was saying, that's not a knock on these mythological things that you're like, oh, there are. I mean, yes, you could technically do that. Okay, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. It may confuse people who don't know what I'm talking about. I'm saying actual physical reptiles, though. The ones that you can actually hold with your hand, like the actual animal type of reptile. Like that you can have a pet reptile. You can have a pet lizard, a Komodo dragon, whatever. I'm saying lizards themselves, reptiles. How I was talking about how cats see about 33% faster than us in the frame block universe. I guess they have, I guess you could argue a lower refresh rate of their minds. Or you could argue that their minds calculate so fast that they don't need to utilize as much motion blur as the human mind does to fill in the visual gaps when you're moving your eyeballs around. That's how you don't get disoriented, because your brain fills in the gaps with motion blur. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, if you can deduce what a cat sees, you can also deduce what other animals see. And I'm saying, look into X-ray radiation. You can already see how spiders can react to different rays that are imperceivable to us. And they can act from afar. Like you could be recording a spider with your phone, and you can use a certain app and touch the area on your phone, and the spider, like on the table, will react. I'm saying this is the manipulation of UV or any rays, micro or macro, radio waves. I'm saying you can use this to basically either understand people's emotions or control people's emotions. It's very easy. All you have to do is just pay attention in school. Anyways, this is why I was talking about cryptocurrencies. I mean, if we're going to operate on this credit system, this promise of labor, to where it becomes absurdly speculative and only serves the people at the top, fiat is not going to work out in the long run. At least that's what I say, because I would say the writing's on the wall. But cryptocurrency, since we already work off credit anyways, which is the promise of currency, I was like, cryptocurrency does that, but with ideas and concepts. It makes ideas and concepts it gives them monetary value. Because what I said was, it gives them monetary value because if you can mathematically deduce idioms and phrasings and concepts and ideas into things, and you say, hey, I'm going to do this idea, it is basically a grassroots crowdfunding for that. I'm saying if we are mass, if we are energy, and if we are basically data and bits, John Archibald Wheeler's theoretical physics, whose bit, right? Anyways, special relativity, general relativity, I don't have to get into all that. Anyways, what I'm basically saying is, okay, so now imagine how a lizard or a reptile must see things. Probably more in the X-ray spectrum, right? I said, think about how, for example, mantis shrimp can see in more colors than us. How birds can see in more colors than us. How other things have photoreceptors and are more advanced. Mollusks, octopus, they can sense things better than us. See, as a human being, we're limited to, I guess, 5 senses, maybe you can argue 6, which is this, which I would say is the quantum entanglement to like the fabric of space. It's this whole sixth sense thing, whatever. What my point is using technology as a crutch, AI, which can think way faster than the human brain can, way faster than our neurochemical computer can. Using AI, you can understand animal behavior. And I'm saying, if you can mathematically deduce it all, then you can simply talk to your animals. And I said that's what I was going to try to do. I was going to try to make a collar for my pet cat. He's not even one yet. He's nicknamed Cad. That's why I said this is Cad's world. Anyways, just a tangent. I did want a Cadillac Lyric at some point. That seems like an interesting vehicle. Anyways, I just thought I'd bring that one up. So what I was telling people, I said, hey, this is Cad's world. We're just living in it, right? So using all these sciences, I'm going to attempt to bridge the gap between human psychology and animal psychology, because I'm very interested in animal behavior. I care about animals. So using this method, I could eventually deduce a way to talk to every single species at some point, because I was left up to guess until then, which guesswork is kind of effective. It helps you. That's the scientific method. You hypothesize something, and you experiment, and you separate your variables, your controlled variables, your changing variables, whatever. They teach you this methodology in school. It's basically, as I said, using hypotheticals and counterfactuals. That is essentially what you need to get to this level of understanding. So I said, this is like a 100% effective methodology. And if you work with other people, you're adding more data and information, thereby breaking that 100% threshold. You learned everything, knew everything you could have, but you simply conversed with new data. So you just added to yourself. I call this the 101% methodology. But, personally, me, Eden Shameless, I just call things certain things, okay? I have a knack for naming things, you could say. Like, whenever I see a blank slate, I simply give it a name. Kind of like writing in a book. Well, what are you going to call your book? I think a good book name could be So Help Me God, but, there are things that you can make and you can name. This is effectively editing the universe, if you think about it. So there's this powerful guy named God that did similar things, shall we say. Made mankind, edited mankind, if you speak that way, in his own image. If nothing else, you could read Genesis, if you're not going to read the entire Bible. Anyways, everything that happened in history happened, and everything that they recorded in religious texts were recorded for a reason. Let me say it that way. You simply need to refer back to the past. Never forget the past. History does not repeat, at least not absolutely. It doesn't go in a circle. It goes in a spring. You can imagine a slinky, right? How they're circles, but they're contorted circles. it's a spring. Do you know what spring motion is? How there's resistance, photon resistance through a medium of space-time fabric. Yeah. Anyways, that's all on another topic. Like I said, on this God's green earth, I'm talking on my patio, recording this video. It is 1:56 p.m. Central Standard Time, Denton, Texas, October 5th. Anyways, yeah.